Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. Once again, America as a country is showcased to the rest of the world that we are still a very ignorant and dismissive country to anything that is unfamiliar, unrecognizable, and un-American. And this is what I'm going to do so I don't have to make this a video where people feel that I'm attacking a certain group of people based on how they look. How about we do this? So, I'm going to make this argument based around culture, not specifically race. Even though technically they go hand in hand, because when we talk about the different cultures in America, all of the cultures that have been developed were developed during a time period where all the different races were still segregated, and while all these different races were in their specific communities and developing their own cultures over time that were basically the derivatives of segregation, you know, all of these different groups of people have different cultures. And now in 2014, all of these different cultures clash for a piece of relevance in American society. However, there is one culture that is more dominant than the others because it has a larger representation and a larger population than the others. So, what I'm going to do to make this American, so this doesn't turn into an all-out race war, which honestly, in all reality, it really is. But we're not going to do that today, okay? I'm going to make up a group of people based off of the culture that they've established, and I'm going to call them gray people, okay? Gray. Actually, you know, these are my high school colors. Just black, gray, and teal, whatever. Spanaway Lake High School. Hey, y'all, what's up, Sentinels? Class of 2006. But, okay, so this is my definition of gray people. Gray people are people in this country who believe that to be American, you can only look one way, you speak English, you were born here, your family was born here, nobody in your family ever came over here unless they came from Europe. That's the only way that you can technically come here and be American. But if you came from Europe, you cannot be brown, so you can't come from Spain. Not at all. We're not having it. Okay? So, or Turkey, or Greece, none of those countries. Just basically Western Europe, not including Spain and Portugal, or the Azores. Iceland either. We don't really need them either, because, yeah, you guys kind of look a little Asian. So, gray people, okay, this is that population that really honestly feels that America is just this utopian group of people who are just perfect at life, and all of us aspire to be gray. Okay, so what would happen? Well, so let me get to where I'm going. So, as we know, the Super Bowl is this great event where all the collective forces and energies of all the great people who love sports in America come together and celebrate the achievements of the two best teams in the league. And during the Super Bowl, people from all over the world watch. As a matter of fact, 115 million people watch this year. And what happens is, you know, all these corporations and organizations, they put together these really great advertising campaigns and commercials to help endorse their products. And, you know, they spend millions upon millions of dollars to get their product, you know, some exposure. This year, it was $4 million. So Coca-Cola, which also happens to be the organization that has the most recognizable brand in America along with McDonald's, they decide that they would love to do a commercial to showcase the diversity that represents America, to showcase that America is this ideological melting pot that we've all been taught to believe we are, according to Schoolhouse Rocks, and basically what we've been taught in K through 12 every single year, especially when we're talking about the American Revolution and the Declaration of Independence and all that great stuff in the Constitution. You know, we're taught that America is this place where everybody has a chance, you have an opportunity. If you just come here, this is the land of the free, home of the brave. If you're here because you're part of a movement that wants to help the rest of the world. And that's a beautiful thing in an ideal world, but technically that kind of hasn't really happened, but I'll get to that later. So anyway, Coca-Cola airs this ad, and what a better way to talk about how America is a beautiful country than having people sing America the Beautiful, but in different languages, because that would showcase our diversity. So the commercial's on, and it starts, oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber ways of grace. And then the second verse comes in, and it's not in freaking English. What the hell? What are they singing? They're singing in some terrorist language. And then the third verse comes on, and what? That verse isn't in English either. What is going on here? Barack Obama must be in charge of this crap. And it just keeps going. And mind you, this commercial, it's all these different languages represented. Urdu, Portuguese, Mandarin Chinese, all types of languages, French, German, and it just sets off the freaking social media community. People are outraged. How effing dare you freaking sing an American patriotic song in a language that isn't American? What the hell, man? Come on! So people are freaking pissed off. And I'm talking about the gray population, the gray Americans, the ones who I told you about. They have that specific viewpoint about what America is and what it should be and what it needs to be, and if anybody goes against it, you're a terrorist, a socialist, a communist, and you should be arrested for treason and sent back to wherever you came from. Okay? So, people lose their stuff. So, social media acts, basically social media is crazy. Here comes Twitter and everybody's tweeting all this ignorant stuff. So I found some of my favorite quotes to read. Now mind you, before anybody tries to get on me and tell me I'm un-American and go back to Africa, wherever I came from, let me just remind you all, I was born here. Yes, my lineage most likely traces back to Africa. And yes, I guess I don't fit into the same bubble of being a gray American, but still, I was born here. And on top of that, I was born on an American military base because both of my parents served in the Army for 25 years. That's as American as it gets. Anyway, so here's some of the quotes I found. One was, this was a good one, and excuse the language, okay? That Coke commercial sucked. And mind you, on Twitter, this was E.I. Jungle Cat. Some girl or guy, I don't know, it's two of them together. Some girl named Tristan, so I guess it's a girl, but you know, Tristan could be a man's name in 2014. Anyway, Tristan said, that Coke commercial sucked. Mexicans, terrorists, Jews, and niggers are not American. Okay? And her picture also happens to be gray, so maybe this fits with the whole gray American thing. Oh, and then this was my favorite one. I love this one the most. I feel un-American for drinking Coke today. I took an oath to defend this country. How is a song to our nation sang in different languages? That was the funniest one because what I felt like, I wish I could, and that was by, because, you know, I got to shout them out because, you know, we got to help our American people. We need everybody to get some exposure because maybe they want to go viral. This was the Seaweed, okay? This was Chris Kling. Hey, Chris. Anyway, everybody hates Chris. That was my favorite TV show. But, okay, what's funny is I don't think Chris understands that when you talk about the American military, many of the languages that were saying in that commercial are representative of the many groups of people that come from these different countries that actually make up our American military. Because our American military is not all just quite gray, okay? But anyway, so that was funny. But I guess let me just go into where I'm going. It's sad that a commercial that was aimed to unify us and really showcase how great we can be and how it is when we all come together and celebrate our differences and embrace, you know, our different traits and customs, turned into something where we became extremely divided, and it's very sad. And another thing that baffles me is when you talk about an official language in American, many gray people believe that, well, they call it American, but it's actually called English. You know, English is the official language of America, according to gray people, but honestly, when you look it up, America has no official language. You know, this is why when you go on a train in New York and you see a sign, it's in Mandarin Chinese, it's in Spanish, it's in English. And that's because many of those languages are the accepted, I guess, form or basically, you know, an accepted form or system of a language in this country that we've accepted. Because in America, about 13% of us speak Spanish and the other 84 speak English, and then everybody else fits in between. So, you know, America has no official language according to what's actually in the books and according to what's in our official papers. We don't have an official language. We just have a huge population of people who speak English. And you know what's funny is America is also a country that technically doesn't really aim to teach its citizens more than one language. We're one of the few countries that is not bilingual or trilingual. We only speak English technically around this country, which is why people get uncomfortable when people sing things in other languages. Why? Because you don't know what they're saying. And to the eyes of a gray person, that means you're probably getting together some terrorist plan and some terrorist plot to destroy and take away our American freedom because the rest of the world is filled with a bunch of terrorists. And that's just the way things are around these parts. So it's kind of sad. And what's funny is also those people with that same gray American mentality go to other places around the world and do the exact same thing. You will go to China and you'll be pissed off because you'll go to a Chinese restaurant and you're mad because they don't have an English translation menu, even though you've forgotten that Mandarin Chinese is the language that is spoken by the most people in the world, and technically English is not the most popular language in the world. So, but because we are American and we are the best and everybody aspires to be us and we have everything that everybody wants, and anybody who doesn't want to be a part of our movement is a terrorist, a socialist, a communist, and should be sent out for treason or whatever, or just be destroyed, and maybe we should just nuke you. You know, it's a problem. So people will go to some place like China and be like, why is your menu not in English? Like, do you know that I'm American and I am better than you and basically I own you? Like, you want to be everything I want to be, so basically, you need to find an English menu, or I'm going to go back and make sure that the next person I vote in office nukes your country, because you just don't need to be here. So you and that damn panda and bamboo stick or whatever great wall you thought you built, you need to go find an English menu. God bless America. And that's all I have to say about that. So it's kind of crazy. So when you talk about patriotism in America, to gray Americans, patriotism only works one way. Patriotism means that you follow the gray formula, and if you're not a part of that gray formula, you're a terrorist, okay? And it's sad. However, patriotism does have one exception. When it's time for the Olympics, it's going down. Anybody who represents this great country of America, you get to be American if you're on our American team because we need you to win. So when we go to Russia and we do ice hockey in 1980 or 82, whichever year that was the Winter Olympics, oh yeah, we got to beat those communist, socialists, whatever they are because, you know, they're all from Stalin land and they're all crazy. So, USA, USA. Oh, and Gabby Douglas, when she won all those gold medals, yes, USA, no time for losers because we are the champions. And then when all of these people from different backgrounds who represent the American teams fly back on their plane to America, it's back to reality. Yeah. Gabby Douglas, we're really happy for you and all, and it was great that you won this medal and all, but I need you to go back into your lane because technically you're not quite American. Yes, we kidnapped your ancestors and somehow you ended up here and you unfortunately can't speak any other languages except for ours because we stripped you of yours and all that great stuff, but you know, yeah, we told you you're an American because the Great Melting Pot and all that BS and everything, but you're not quite American or gray. So, I don't want to say this, but honestly, we're trying to think of every way to get rid of you if we could. So, can you, like, just get back on your ship to Africa? Or otherwise, we'll just do the whole three strikes thing and just lock you up or something. You know, that's literally how many people in this country think, and it's kind of sad. So, in America, you're taught that, you know, from K through 12, you're taught that we are this really embracing, accepting nation of everybody and that we are the world's hope. We are here to help the rest of this corrupt world recognize and understand that the American way is the way to freedom. And that we are the pioneers for why the world is so great if you live in America. And if you're against that, you just don't need to be here. You need to go back to whatever country you came from on your ship made out of Coke bottles or whatever cotton gin ship you arrived on or whatever chopstick plane you made. You need to go back. You know, that's the mindset many gray people in this country have, and it's disturbing. And it's so funny because America is a country that borrows from everything. Like, English is a language that is borrowed from all types of languages around the world, which is why English doesn't make sense. This is why verb-subject agreement is confusing. This is why you have silent letters. This is why you have letters that make the same sound, but they're two different letters. This is why you can have words spelled the same way, but be pronounced two different ways and also have two different meanings. That's because English is contrived of so many different languages from Europe and from the Latin origins and even Africa. I know people don't ever want to give Africa any credit. This is why people are like, oh yeah, the pyramids were built by aliens, because even in 2014, technology would have not been able to build the pyramids. Even though somehow Dubai was able to make a whole freaking set of islands shaped like the United States and a freaking palm tree, but you know, there's just, the technology is just not there. So yeah, aliens built Egypt. And we only came up with that after we discovered that the real Egyptians kind of look like this person who's talking on YouTube right now. So yeah, you don't look kind of Arab like we thought you would. And also, I know Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra, and yeah, now that we learned the real thing, yeah, aliens built that. So that's the way things are. But you know, America, we're a country where we borrow many concepts and ideas from other countries and claim them as ours. And then when other countries, you know, would like to showcase their culture to us, we dismiss it and act like it's just freaking animalistic. Which is why, you know, now mind you, this is an ideal America of somebody who's great. Oh, you know what, I'll just go and, you know what, now I'm going to move to this gentrified part of Baltimore, and oh my god, tomorrow I'm going to a freaking yoga gym. And it's just so great. Now, I know yoga is actually from Asia, but it's American in this country. We've Americanized it. We do it a little bit better than you people. So I'm going to go to this yoga gym, and for lunch I'm going to have my Greek yogurt, and then, you know, afterwards I'm going to go either salsa dancing or I'm going to go do some, like, belly dancing somewhere. Wait a minute. The belly dancing instructor, his first language isn't English? Oh, well, I'm not doing that. I know I was doing the, no. Okay, why don't we just go get some Mexican? Wait a minute, whoa. You mean to tell me that the menu is not in English? I'm gonna have to actually try and pronounce these different words. I mean, I cannot say quesadilla at all. Quesadilla, just so y'all know, I'm still a character, quesadilla. I cannot say quesadilla at all. Like, what the heck? I mean, I know I was doing the Macarena back in '96 with everybody else, but you know, that was just like a phase I was going through, so that's un-American. I'm not doing that. So it's kind of sad. So I'm really hoping that as we progress through time, more people become more accepting and open to what's different. You know, yes, we are a different country. Yes, many people are really uncomfortable with the fact that there are certain populations that are starting to grow faster than others, and some people feel that their culture is going to be erased and embraced. Well, hey, welcome to the world of being black. All that stuff was stolen. We don't have anything anymore. But anyway, God bless America. And, you know, I'm really just hoping that people become more accepting to what's different. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, you're so freaking racist and you hate America and why do you live here? And just, you know, you should be arrested for treason. And it's not anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the culture that we have developed in America, due to the fact that all these different races were separated, has turned into a pool of ignorance where we are basically just dismissive to anything that's not gray. And that's a problem. You know, that's un-American. So I need everybody to go back and go to your mom's house, go to your aunt's house, dig in the basement. Now, you're going to have to move past all your old football trophies and all your recital certificates, and you're going to have to find that Schoolhouse Rocks VHS. All right? Now, you know a lot of people don't have VCRs anymore, so you might have to go to a pawn shop and get a VCR. Get your Schoolhouse Rocks VHS. You might have to blow it out like a throwback Nintendo game, because it's going to be a little dusty. And I need you to play Great American Melting Pot, because you might need to remind yourself that America has no one look. It has no one language. It has no one way of doing things, which is also why all the cultures clash and we fight all day and we will never get over ourselves. But please recognize that no one is thinking about us the way that we think about ourselves. We are not as hot as we really truly think we are. Some of us should really take a trip to other countries and see what people really think about Americans and American culture. And you may learn some things about yourself that you may not particularly like. But, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, this video is too long. Subscribe. Let me know what you think. All you ignorant people who are going to go and have a field day in my comment section, have fun. Thank you for the view that I will get paid for. Good day.